Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Lord, through all the generations, you have been our home. Before the mountains were born, before you gave birth to the earth and the world, from the beginning to end, you are God. Teach us to realize the brevity of life so that we may grow in wisdom. So we are still in the hotel. We are going to be in here for 2 weeks. I know I've said that so many times. I wanted to show you guys in this video how I'm going to cook in the hotel room. I am going to be cooking in a hotel room that it has a kitchenette. So basically it has a microwave and a really small baby fridge. Basically what we did is we brought our Instant Pot and we used a bit of his meal allowance that he is allowed each day to buy a couple of items, and I want to show you guys the things that we bought. So in total, this order for the food was $43. We got all of this food from ShopRite, and I want to go ahead and do a grocery haul, and in hopes that this is inspiration for any of you ladies out there who may be going on a business travel trip with your husband, or you're living on a single income, whatever the case may be, and you need to get meals, budget-friendly meals. So the hopes is this $43 is going to last us for 2 weeks worth of food. I do believe that it will, and if it does, I mean, if you do the math, it's quite cheap a meal. Let me see. All right, so 2 weeks worth of meals. Wait, 43 divided by 14 equals that. So technically this is 76 cents a meal if I can pull this off. I don't think I'm going to record each day, but hopefully I will include at the end of this video or in the description box or in the comment section if it did last us 2 weeks. If I don't, comment down below and remind me, and I will let you guys know if we were able to have enough meals for 2 weeks worth with $43. Me and my husband have been practicing frugality for the entire duration of our marriage. So although we are now living on a single income, nothing has changed as far as our spending habits. We are not on a tighter budget than what we used to been on, because we've always been on a tight budget. I think that has always just been our mindset. And you know, I think that as Christians, it is important for us to realize that our treasures are in heaven. We should be storing treasures in heaven. So here is our kind of like cabinet. So I brought some storage containers, which I actually need to wash. I brought a sponge to have. We have a knife. We have a scooper. You know, a little stirring spatula, a can opener. I forgot we need to get honey, so that's why I brought that. And we got an extra mug, and we only got garlic salt as seasoning, so that's all I can season with tonight. And then just extra trash bags and things of that nature, and of course my oven mitts. So I must admit, I have never washed dishes in a hotel room before, especially a hotel room that doesn't have like a kitchen, but you have to make do. So we got some Dawn dish soap last night, which I was so excited because I cooked the other night and we had nothing to wash the Instant Pot, and we had nothing to clean in any of these bowls, so they are a bit dirty. So you know, there's a first for everything. So let me go ahead and clean these dishes in this sink. As I'm reading the scriptures, it is so apparent and so clear that having excess and more than we need can actually be detrimental to how we see God and how we see others and how we love God and how we love others. It is clear that the scriptures tell Christians that we should be helping the poor. We should be helping our relatives that are less fortunate than us. We should be helping others who are less fortunate than ourselves. And so if we're living a life of excess, living and spending above our means, I think that is a clear indication that potentially your relationship with God isn't where it needs to be. Okay, so here is our little fridge, and let me show you guys all the things that we got. Oh, I forgot I had yogurt. Okay. And hopefully all of this stuff will last us for the 2 weeks and that we're here. So we got jumbo green peppers, which I will use these tonight with what I'm making and just throughout the week. Throughout the 2 weeks. We got some butter, and I got the salted butter specifically because I really want I didn't want to have salt or buy salt. And so salted butter is just a great way to bring flavor out of all the things that I make. And then I got some half and half. I plan on making some mashed potatoes, so I needed some half and half. I got carrots. And listen, I've talked to you guys about how I love carrots. Carrots are highly nutritious and fairly inexpensive when it comes to veggies. So I get carrots all the time when I am on a budget, but I want to get some fiber and some potassium and all the great things, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, all those things. When I want those nutrients, carrots are my go-to. Another one that is my go-to is spinach, fresh spinach. So this bag was 99 cents for fresh cinnamon. Again, excellent source of vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and manganese. So just really good. It stretches, and spinach is one of those things that go with everything. And then we got a pound of ground beef, and we got some chicken breast, and this is, what is it, 3 pounds maybe? Yeah, so 3.25 pounds of chicken breast. And we also got brown rice. I talked to you guys about this in my other video. This bag was really cheap. I think less than $1, honestly, for a bag of brown rice. And then we got some bread. You guys know we love bread. I've talked about this in the other videos as well, that bread is such a great way to make your meal fuller. And if you're pairing something like a carbohydrate, something that's high in carbs, such as a white bread, you want to pair it with other things that are nutritious, and you don't have to worry about getting a spike in blood sugar. You don't necessarily have to worry about it being unhealthy because you are pairing it with other slow digesting carbs, as in brown rice, and you're also pairing it with protein, you're pairing it with fiber and fats, and so it's going to create a nice balance. And also it's very filling and cheap. I think so. This was $3.99 for this long piece of bread. Lastly, we got some potatoes. The cheapest potatoes you can get at the grocery store are russet potatoes, and they're delicious. I mean, I love gold potatoes, I love red potatoes, but truly russet potatoes do the trick. Delicious. Make mashed potatoes, make baked potatoes, make diced potatoes, just so good. So as you guys can see, this is what we have, and this was $43, and it should last us for 2 weeks for a family of 2.
Shout with the voice of a trumpet blast. Shout out loud. Don't be timid. Tell my people Israel of their sins. Yet they act so pious. They come to the temple every day and seem delighted to learn all about me. They act like a righteous nation that would never abandon the laws of its God. They ask me to take action on their behalf, pretending they want to be near me. We have fasted before you, they say. Why aren't you impressed? We have been very hard on ourselves, and you don't even notice. I will tell you why, I respond. It's because you are fasting to please yourselves. Even while you fast, you keep oppressing your workers. What good is fasting when you keep on fighting and quarreling? This kind of fasting will never get you anywhere with me. You humble yourselves by going through the motions of penitence, bowing your heads like reeds bending in the wind. You dress in burlap and cover yourselves with ashes. Is this what you call fasting? Do you really think this will please the Lord? No, this is the kind of fasting I want. Free those who are wrongly imprisoned. Lighten the burden of those who work for you. Let the oppressed go free and remove the chains that bind people. Share your food with the hungry and give shelter to the homeless. Give clothes to those who need them and do not hide from relatives who need your help. Then your salvation will come like the dawn, and your wounds will quickly heal. Your godliness will lead you forward, and the glory of the Lord will protect you from behind. Then, when you call the Lord, He will answer. Yes, I am here. He will quickly reply. So, while I'm letting that ground beef brown, I want to show you guys what I'm working on in the hotel room. So, before we left, I went to Joann's and I got this beautiful plaid and warm tone, and I just loved it when I saw it, and I was like, I know exactly what kind of dress I want to make with this. So, right now, this is a half circle skirt that I am going to gather and make into a dress. But I want to show you guys the bodice that I have been working on. There she is. Now it's not finished yet. I still need to attach this like this. So this is how it's going to be, front and back. And I'm so proud of it. I want to show you guys really close so you can see some of my seam finishes. This is the cleanest bodice I have ever made. So all of this was hand sewn. I want to show you guys inside the garment, but I will show you just kind of how it looks outside. And you guys can see just the finish here. I just did a rolled hem and then I top stitched it with a running stitch because that is just what's easy for me at this moment, and it's also like the quickest. And then inside, let me turn this inside out. So here is my dart, which I also did with a running stitch, and it also needs to be ironed down. And then here is the side seam, and I did a princess seam, which I am aware this princess seam is way too thick, but it was kind of like an accident on my part, and I just did not feel like fixing it, to be honest. And then also this is a princess seam as well. My shoulder seam is also a princess seam, so there are no raw edges inside this bodice. And of course the bottom, this is going to be attached to the skirt, so that is raw, but everything else is clean. This is my cleanest. Oh, even here, which I'm really proud about, is even where the zipper is, I have it super clean. Now this zipper, I just baste stitched this on because I'm going to back stitch this this zipper when it's said and done, but I just wanted to put the zipper on to see if everything fit. So that's why you see like this running stitch here. This is not strong enough to hold a zipper in, but it's only because I wanted to try on the bodice to make sure everything was fitting okay. So this is cooking up really nicely, and I don't want to cook it till it's completely done because I want to saute my peppers a little bit, and then of course I'm keeping this in the Instant Pot while I cook the rice. I'm going to cook it all together.
And actually, now that I think about it, I'm just going to go ahead and pour this in now. I just realized we did not bring a measuring cup. So I'm gonna have to eyeball what a cup of rice looks like and what a cup of water looks like.
When the crowds came to John for baptism, he said, "You brood of snakes, who warned you to flee the coming wrath? Prove by the way you live that you have repented of your sins and turned to God. Don't just say to each other, 'We're safe, for we are descendants of Abraham.' That means nothing, for I tell you, God can create children of Abraham from these very stones. Even now the axe of God's judgment is poised, ready to sever the roots of the trees. Yes, every tree that does not produce good fruit will be chopped down and thrown into the fire." The crowds asked, "What should we do?" John replied, "If you have 2 shirts, give one to the poor. If you have food, share it with those who are hungry." Even corrupt tax collectors came to be baptized and asked, "Teacher, what should we do?" He replied, "Collect no more taxes than the government requires." "What should we do?" asked some soldiers. John replied, "Don't extort money or make false accusations, and be content with your pay." Jesus sat down near the collection box in the temple and watched as the crowds dropped in their money. Many rich people put in large amounts. Then a poor widow came and dropped in 2 small coins. Jesus called his disciples to him and said, "I tell you the truth, this poor widow has given more than all the others who are making contributions, for they gave a tiny part of their surplus. But she, poor as she is, has given everything she had to live on." Don't store up treasures here on earth where moths eat them and rust destroys them, and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven where moths and rust cannot destroy, and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. May the God of peace be with you all.